friends, I'm Sophie. Welcome back to my channel. It's been a minute since I posted a video, but I had a student of mine recently ask a question in our student Facebook group about brand design and just what that looks like as a business owner and how I service my clients. And so I thought I could share this in an informational video because, to be honest, there's so much that I could say about this subject that I felt like I just couldn't fit all into a response back to the student on Facebook. If you're curious as to what I'm talking about, the student is a part of my live group coaching program that is called the Creative Entrepreneur Accelerator Program. It is a program specifically designed for current and aspiring small business owners that are looking to build the foundation of what is going to help them become a successful business, whether you are a service provider or a product-based business or a hybrid / combination of the two of those things. There are so many things about owning and operating and running a small business that I just had no idea. I didn't even have the first clue about these things when I first started my business. And honestly, I feel like I could have fast-tracked my success and quit my corporate job and gone full-time with my business a lot sooner had I known these things. So that's part of why I created this coaching program, is just to go ahead and give you the tools to succeed that I didn't necessarily have when I first started. Signups and applications are always open. So this is an application only course. So you do have to apply to become a student and graduate from the program, but you can apply anytime and then you will be at the top of the list for the next time this course opens. But enough about that. I wanted to share what this student asked and then just kind of give you my answer. And this is something that I'm sharing with my students in our Facebook group. That's a private group for students only. But I thought this would be a great opportunity to also share a new YouTube video because I have not posted a YouTube video in a very long time. Things have just been kind of crazy and I got out of the habit of posting on YouTube, but I really would like to get back to posting more regularly. So I thought I'm just gonna go ahead and do a quick video to share about brand design and how I do this to make money for my business. So I provide brand design as a service. I am a graphic designer, but it's one of the service offerings that I have. I have multiple streams of revenue. They are all related. They're all like intermixed, but brand design is one of the streams of revenue for my business, and it's one of the services that I provide. So when I say brand design, that means like coming up with an entire visual identity for a business. So it's not just a logo. There are a lot of people out there that are logo designers. Brand design is like a holistic approach to an entire brand. So it is not just a cute logo. It is colors, topography, it's actually developing like a little bit of messaging for the brand and a story for the brand, brand traits. Like I am taking a really holistic approach and giving them like an entire either branding revamp and makeover, or if they are a newer business and they haven't launched yet, like we are building the entire story for this brand and creating a logo that not only does it look aesthetically pleasing, but something that's like functional and meaningful. So it's not merely just decorative, it has symbolism, it means something, and it tells the story. It is the visual way of representing what a company is and what they do and who they serve. So when somebody comes to me and they are looking for a brand identity, and again, I think it's important to, like, I know that what I'm doing is building out an entire brand identity, but it's really important to speak to your potential clients and customers in language that they understand. So sometimes when I am speaking to a potential client or customer, they may not necessarily know everything that I mean when I say a brand identity or brand design. I say I am a brand designer, but most people walking around on the street understand what I do to be logo design. So what I need to do is explain to them, yes, logo and branding, but I'm a brand designer and here's what all comes with this. So this student of mine wanted to know what all should be included in brand design and like what all comes with that. What services you offer and what is included in them. So basically what my process looks like is we go through a mood board, and then after I have like a mood board, we have a finalized approved design direction. That's really what the mood board, what the use of that is. The mood board is, you know, something that's like, nothing is necessarily set in stone when it comes to the mood board, but the mood board helps me to determine what my client does and doesn't like. And once we get a mood board that's completely finalized and approved, that's when we move on to the design piece. And then one other thing too that I forgot to mention, I always start out with a brand questionnaire for my clients, like a brand design questionnaire. And this also really helps me to make sure that I am gathering as much information as possible before I start doing any design work. So this is like the research phase, and this is really important. There are a lot of times where I get mood boards completely right on the first try, but then I have some clients occasionally here and there that need a couple of adjustments before we move on to actually designing the logo concepts. The next thing that we do is the actual logo concepts piece of this. So this is like where the bulk of what they're paying for comes from. A lot of designers do this differently. Some present 2 to 3 logo concepts, and some do what is called the one logo concept, the one concept method. I do the one concept method simply because it's a lot of work to build out more than one concept. And honestly, anytime in the past where I've presented more than one concept, I had a clear winner in my mind for which one was the front runner to me or which one I liked better. And then came the anxiety of like, oh, what if they pick the one that I don't like? And it's not just about what I like, it's about like what the client would like, but I'm always aiming to give them their best option. And I just found that when I was creating more than one logo concept, there was definitely one that I liked better, that I felt was a better fit for them, that I felt was in their best interest to choose. And so then it creates this anxiety of like, oh, what am I going to do if they pick the one that like I don't think should be the winner? So if there's one that I don't think should be the winner, why would I even present that to them in the first place? I also think that sometimes overwhelming your clients with too many options can create some analysis paralysis, where it's almost like extremely difficult for them to narrow down and make a decision, and then they get overwhelmed, and then it can cause you to be going back to the drawing board on multiple concepts. Or I've seen some situations just when I've been employed at other advertising agencies that did things like this, where I was like in a different position. I never worked as a graphic designer in advertising agencies. I was always like the communications assistant or the project manager or somebody in the communications or like general marketing department, never graphic design, which is so funny. But I've seen people before where clients will want to like combine elements from one logo concept or another, and it just gets really funky. So I am a huge proponent of the one concept method. I just feel like, why wouldn't I just go ahead and give them my very best all in one go, like all in one presentation? If I, and all that to say, just because I'm presenting them one concept doesn't mean I haven't created more than one concept behind the scenes. There are a lot of variations and iterations that I go through that the client never ever sees. So it doesn't mean that I am, just picking something and going with it and not trying other things. It just means that they are only seeing the very best. And that is what I strive to provide them as my client. So what I include in my brand design, and this is what's in the final presentation, this is what is in the proposal when I send somebody like a package of my services, what they receive is their logo suite, which is primary, secondary logo, submarks, logo mark, word mark, all that stuff. They also receive like their custom color palette, their typography, so like all the fonts that we've chosen. And then they receive, they also have branded patterns that I do. So I do hand illustrated branded patterns. And then I also do branded icons. This is something else I include to help really round out and build out the brand. And these icons can be used on social media. They can be used on their website. They can be used in all kinds of different places, but it just really helps to round out and build out the brand. So all of that is delivered to them in a very professional presentation where I explain the strategy behind every single detail of the logo. I never want any of my logo designs or presentations to make it look like anything was done by accident, because truly when I design a brand, I do so much research on the front half of things to make sure that I am visually representing them in a way that is so unique to them. Like my goal when I work with clients is I always want somebody to be able to feel like I read their mind. Like that's feedback that I get often from my clients, and it's feedback that I always strive for. But I just want them to know that every single piece of their brand design was intentional and with purpose, none of it was just by accident, because it's one thing to have a pretty logo, but like I don't want people's logos to just be pretty. I want them to mean something. I want them to have, you know, deep meaning and symbolism, and just to be something that's like totally unique to the brand that couldn't be used for anybody else out there. Because right now we are in a time where, yes, like Canva can be a great tool, especially for small business owners that just don't have the budget to be working with like a huge agency or something like that. Yes, Canva can be a great tool, but there's a lot of business owners that are using it to create their logos. And so we have a bunch of businesses that are running around with the same looking logos. Everything looks the same. Nothing means anything. And it's really, really hard to differentiate yourself when you are using that approach to logo and branding. So if you're going to invest in anything for your business, I highly recommend that you have it be your brand design and your website design. And those are both two services that I offer to my clients. How long would you say it takes you to create a visual identity? Visual identity projects are like brand design projects. Those are always like a 4 to 5 week project. So week 1 is a lot of research and putting together that mood board. Sometimes that carries over into week 2. And then I would say weeks 2 through I would say maybe like a week and a half into maybe week 3. So usually like 2 weeks, I feel like I try to give myself for the actual creating of the brand identity. And then I present, and then like in the last week, that is when we do like any final edits, and then packaging and saving final files and delivering those to the client. And in terms of edits, I give them 3 rounds of revisions, and that's it. And this says, how many proposals do you present your clients? Again, I only do the 1 concept method. That is what works for me, and that is what I would recommend to everybody else too, because if you don't do that, you're creating a lot more work for yourself. And I just think your clients need clarity from you. They are hiring you to be the expert. So it's not that I don't want clients to feel like they have decision-making ability, but sometimes I just feel like giving them the option to choose between like 3 logos actually creates more harm than good for the client. So again, I'm like, I want to present my very best to them on the first try. So that's why I do that. So I hope that this was helpful. If you have any other questions about how I approach brand design as a business owner and how I approach that with my clients, I'd be happy to share. I love talking about brand design. And if you're interested in checking out any of my work, you can go to simplysophiedesigns.com. And if you are looking for a brand designer, please contact me. I'd love to hear about your project, your business, and would love to know how I can help you. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.